so low.
No, I failed, please.
The game starts out with me lying on the floor after a drunken adventure. An adventure so grand, I'd lost everything. My memories, clothes, gun and badge were all gone. I was stuck there in a trashed room, naked. After collecting some of my clothes, I happened upon a mirror which could actually reveal my true appearance. The mirror told me I'm actually this jammy bastard. The game keeps trying to say I'm ugly, but men could only dream of mutton chops like this. After admiring my good looks, I went around the room collecting the rest of my clothes and even found some keys in my pocket. I could finally leave the room, but in all honesty, I was too busy admiring these clothes. These snakeskin shoes are fly as hell. I knew this fella was a seductive bastard. While slithering my way out the room, I met a lady who could help me figure out what happened in my drunken adventure. But then I noticed something strange. If I've got amnesia, how do I already know her name? Just because I don't know how to say it doesn't mean I don't know it. She told me I was a police officer and I'd completely trashed the room last night in one of my drunken benders. Was it a fun drunken adventure or a bad one? I didn't know just yet. But while talking to her, I had an option appear, which was kind of hard to resist. Suggestion, eh? Girl, you think you can turn down this handsome bastard? Look at this beard many a woman has been unable to resist. Wait, 3%? So at the start of the game, when I was picking my personality, I was going to go with the fighter and go around beating people up. But the thinker just beckoned me right over. I mean, it's perfect for me. I've thought before. I mean, I can't think of the last time I did, but I've definitely done it before. Wait, did I just think? Needless to say, the thinker is not much of a talker, so it makes sense why the seduction didn't work. I mean, I'm too busy thinking. Like, what kind of detective do I want to be? Personally, I was planning on playing a lone detective, a lone ranger of sorts. It was just going to be me against the world. But then this guy showed up. I guess every Sherlock needs his Watson. Turns out this fellow was my new partner who was going to help me solve the case. It was nice to have an external voice around to help with the murder mystery case. All these internal voices were making me a little bit paranoid. Are you a voice in my head, Mr. Narrator? No. No, I'm not. Okay, that's good to know. I'm glad I'm not going crazy. Guys, I'm kind of freaking out right now. So Watson asked me what I've been doing, but I don't even know what day it is, so I had nothing to give him. Fortunately, the wonderful bartender of this establishment was able to give all the exposition we needed. We're in a slum-like district of Revachol called Martinez. Once the greatest city in the world, now reduced to rubble because of a communist revolution. After beating up the king and winning the revolution, the communists were instantly decimated by the sneaky coalition of nations, also known as the EU. It was a bit of an odd situation because the EU just then established status quo and became kings of the world, but none of that really matters because there's a dead guy in the back garden. Oh, well, I think that's what the bartender said. I hope Watson listened to all that exposition because I'm not really good with this politics stuff. So currently, I didn't have any suspects to go from, although the bartender was definitely adamant he didn't do it. Who could have done it? Me and my drunken adventure? Well, based on my room in the beginning, probably, but I'm not going to arrest myself, am I, fellas? The bartender did mention that it could have been some people from a union, whatever that is. The back garden was accessible via a fence. It looks like some idiot crashed his car into the fence and opened up a big hole, which was actually pretty useful. Thank you, mysterious carman. The courtyard didn't have too much going on. There was a couple of kids, a hanged man, and some footprints. I was going to inspect the body, but that's when I found them.
Kuno's got this.
Guys, look! It's me! I can't believe I found myself already. This is crazy.
The fuck? Does Kuno know what a rake is? Kuno's not a gardener.
Wait, why do I keep referring to myself in the third person? I was overly enthusiastic to meet myself, but that enthusiasm didn't last very long.
Help! Pig's got Kuno! Pig's in eating Kuno! Somebody, please!
This is me? All these people have been saying this is me! I'm this annoying little me! Yeah, I hated him. I honestly tried my best to like him, but no, he's just so bad. I did try to punch myself, but failed miserably. I wish I picked fighter. I'd have felt so much better. I can't take this wool insulting me much longer.
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
After leaving me, I attempted to look at the body, but it seems inspecting it makes me want to throw up. Apparently, the decay had gotten really bad because somebody'd left him up there for a week. I don't know who that could have been. Okay, it was me. Since I couldn't inspect the body yet, I decided to explore the area a little more. There was some footprints there, and they revealed that it wasn't just a couple of people on a drunken adventure. No, it was 8 people. This hanging was a full-on operation, and I'd got into a situation that was bigger than I thought. At least I'm no longer a suspect. Wait, what do you mean I could be one of the 8? Looking around a bit more, there was a bin. Who knows if the killers hid some sick loot in there, is what I thought. But instead I found a ledger which somehow made its way into the bin. Turns out it was my detective clipboard with all my past cases on, and somebody may have just placed it into the bin. I don't know who it could have been. Okay, it was me, yes. I did try to speak to Kuno again to see, if he'd seen anything, but... Lad, how can this kid be so annoying? Investigating the body could wait. I need the break from this kid. While walking around, I met a lovely gardener who gave me some directions and gloves, but it didn't mean anything to me because I don't know where I'm going. My first goal was to get some money. Apparently the bartender wasn't very happy that I decimated the entire room and wanted me to pay for damages, but I didn't really know a good way to make money, so I found the bin bag and walked around collecting bottles. That's pretty bad, right? No, not the collecting bottles part, that bit's fine. I'm talking about walking around. That's right, I walked around. This is kind of embarrassing, but it took me 3 hours to realise I could run in this game. I spent the first 3 hours walking from place to place. Lad, I'm so slow. I don't think I'll be getting any speedrun awards for this game. Looking on the bright side, the bottle collecting adventure was legitimately a good way to explore the map. I met a lorry man who told me there was a strike going on. A racist lorry man, which was a little bit confusing, but it prepared me for a later meeting. A shop where I could sell my bottles, and this guy called Manana. What a guy this fella is. Man's just giving me a free rail. I don't know who you support, but I'm a big fan of you anyway. Manana told me that there's a strike between the Wild Pines Corporation and the Dock Workers Union. My ears did perk up at the mention of union, but the entire dock was in shutdown because of those pesky union members, so I couldn't go any further north. Well, technically I could, but I needed to get past this fella called Measurehead. Interesting name, and very interesting fella.
You were once a noble and powerful race.
What the hell? I thought this was going to be the best driver in all of Martinez. Yeah, this guy was a super roided up muscle man. You could say he was the final boss of racist. I did attempt to fight him, but... Oh, wait, no! Oh, go, please let me go! Yeah, it didn't go well. What can I say? I'm a thinker, not a fighter. Wait, is that lover? Since I couldn't beat him up, there was another possible option to get past. If I converted to his way of thinking, I could become his student and he'd let me right on past. I didn't plan on becoming one anytime soon, so I put that on the back burner for now and instead explored some more. Going west led me to some woman on a boat. She was the negotiator for the Wild Pines Corporation. She tried to tell me stuff about the strike, but I didn't really pay attention. Instead, I just asked for some money and asked about physical reality. Yeah, I'm starting to think the alcohol really damaged my guy's brain to the point of no return. She obviously didn't give me the money. I mean, I tried, but my body wouldn't let me ask for some reason. Heading further south, I came across a canal where I couldn't go any further. As it turns out, there's a sign blocking the bridge across. Inspecting the sign told me that the crazy fella in the car not only broke the fence, but also crashed into the sign and broke the whole crossing. What's it? The man giveth, the man taketh away. So yeah, I couldn't go any further. I'd kind of explored around for a while, but I legitimately didn't know what to do. There was nowhere else to go. So I took the only course of action I knew to progress. Well, fellas, looks like we're becoming racists. You're involved in this too. It's not just me. You're involved in this. I can get rid of it later anyway. Yeah, I never got rid of it. I forgot. After speaking to him, I need to choose his option in my thought cabinet, and after an hour, I would be able to enter the docks. Since I had an hour to kill, I went back to the body and attempted to get it down again. Yes, I could have done this, but I was putting it off. So, I couldn't stop being sick, but just as I was about to try and resolve my vomiting tendencies, I noticed something strange. Why can't I save? When did this happen? So as it turns out, this game has a major glitch still to this day. If you complete a thought and then leave the room, your save is just completely broken, it's corrupted, you can't do anything. Just go back to an old save and redo everything. Better hope you notice quickly, otherwise you're losing hours and hours of work. It's so painful. Do you realise how many times this happened to me? I legitimately became paranoid to go into any room ever. How was this never fixed? Well, there goes a few hours. No, guys, it wasn't save scumming, I swear. After reluctantly reaffirming my commitment to Measurehead, I went right over to the body. I got lucky this time and passed the skill check, and I was free to examine the body. The body was strung up with a steel reinforced cord, which could only be found in the docks, and the man had fancy military armor, which you could only find on mercenaries. Not gonna lie, fellas, I thought I had this case nailed. Those dock workers were looking more and more suspicious. I just had to find them first. Next, we had to get them down, and there's probably plenty of ways to achieve this, but I just shot them down. Who killed you?
Communism.
Communism, you say? I think communism's killed a lot of people, big fella. Don't think you're special. Now that I'd gotten the body down, I was free to do the field autopsy, but I chose not to because, lad, this kid just never stops. Instead, I'd give the whole advanced race theory a good old thought, and now I was able to get approval for Measurehead. Yeah, I don't know if this was a good idea, but it's the only way I can get into the docks, right? I can't beat him up, so this is the only way. Now I'd finally gained entrance to the docks. I wasn't too sure how big this area was or what was even here, but it was pretty deserted. The only thing I came across was this big container which was draped in red, so I had to go in. Inside, I found the leader of the union, Everard Clare. Fellas, I refuse to believe this man is human. I won't lie, I spoke a little bit too soon there. Mr. Clare is a very stand-up gentleman, somebody who I can stand beside. Sure, he made me sit on a very uncomfortable chair, but that's fine. In all honesty, he's a very charitable and helpful man. He reveals that my name is Harry Dubois, and that I actually am in fact a detective. He's even helping me find my
gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak.
But he doesn't trust me yet, so I have to do a few tasks to just help him out, you know, get on his good side. What's there to worry about? He's helping me find my gun. Sure, yes, I did have to reload the save because I had a mental breakdown, but that's my fault for losing the gun. Mr. Clare is a busy man, and he's going to help me find my gun. Do you know how important a gun is?
Kids could be playing gun roulette with it as we speak. Teenage gangs could be arming themselves. Get a hold of yourself, Harry.
Thank you, Mr. Clare. After my fruitful conversation, it was getting pretty late and I needed to go to sleep for the night. But as it turns out, I completely forgot about the debt. Well, even if I didn't forget, I just didn't have enough bottles to get anywhere near that amount of money. But bottles are worthless. Thankfully, Watson was recently flush with cash and can let me pawn off some of his fancy wheels. With the debt paid, I could finally sleep and move on to the next day. Or so I thought. After climbing into bed, I had the weirdest dream ever. There I was in a courtyard with the hangman. But this time, I was also hanging from the tree. What the hell are you doing?
Me? Just hanging around.
Oh, that's pretty literal. Now the second day was starting, and I had so much to do. Going downstairs, I find that there's a rowdy bunch of union members called the Hardys in the corner. The union's my best lead, and there happens to be 7 of them right there. But that would have to wait. I've got a body waiting for me out there. Well, I hoped. Who knows what that kid about? So I go over to complete the field autopsy, but the body starts to talk to me. Oh, cool. I guess you could just tell me who killed him. That's good. Mystery solved. Yeah, it wasn't that simple. The stupid hangman was very cryptic and basically told me love killed him. What the hell does that mean? He died of a broken heart? Can you die of a broken heart? I mean, oh my god, you can. Well, I know what happened, so I'll tell you right now, he didn't. We carry on the field autopsy and find nothing really useful other than he probably did die from a hanging. I knew I'd missed something because I failed a perception check, but what can you do? Well, it was white, so I tried again. And failed again. Yeah, I gave up. Now with the autopsy complete, Watson was going to leave for a day and get the body processed. This was perfect for me. Finally, I get to live out my Lone Ranger arc. Without Watson to tie me down, I was free to do whatever I wanted. My first port of call was to learn about reality. I mean, it's kind of crazy Harry doesn't know any of this stuff, but never mind. With my firm grasp of reality, re-grasped, I was now ready to meet the Hardy Boys. It was gonna be perfect. While I was speaking to Titus, their leader, I was scanning the other boys and they just matched all the footprints from the courtyard exactly. These were the culprits I was looking for. I wasn't sure if this was a short game or my Lone Ranger abilities were being revealed, but this all just seemed really easy until I brought up the hanging.
Because we took it from the harbor where we work. Then we went out back and used it to hang him. We did this together, all of us, until he was dead.
Yeah, they all just admitted to it right to my face. Like, what the hell? I thought this was it. What am I supposed to do? They've already admitted to it. Can I arrest 7 people on my own? I don't want to live the Lone Ranger life anymore. I don't like this. It's too hard. Watson, hurry up. So rather than fail even more, I decided to waste some time reading books. At this moment in time, I didn't know I could just use the bench and the pliers to wait for him to come back. But instead, I think I actually found a speedrunner's trick. Rather than sitting on the bench, I read through some of my old cases, which did waste some time, but I also found this hidden compartment. This compartment had a little letter from my ex-girlfriend, and it made me pass out. After waking up, good old Watson was back with me and I was ready to take on the Hardy Boys again. And we died. Turns out 2 people can't arrest them all. So instead of trying to arrest them, I tried to establish some authority with Titus. He just wasn't having any of it. I was at a loss. I call this period of time James's big adventure because he doesn't know what to do. Rather than speaking to Titus, I tried everything else in the game that I could currently do. I helped open a door for Mr. Clare. I became a paranormal detective and helped cleanse a library of their demons. I spoke to some random smoker and their friend. At one point when I was running around, I even got an interesting prompt from my endurance. Guy, my gut's trying to convince me to become a fascist. What is this game? Yeah, day 2 ended up being a complete waste of time. I didn't figure out how to progress with Titus at all. Although day 3 did start off pretty eventful. The canal was now clear and I was finally able to go south. This was great. I was no longer stuck trying to convince Titus and I could just explore some more instead. After crossing the bridge, the first thing I came across was a car crashed in the middle of the ice. It was partially submerged, so I did need to wait a little bit to get a good look at it. And once the ice had cleared, I was hit by a pretty hard revelation. Oh no. Turns out the crazy driver was me. Who knew this world let you drink and drive? I guess I am the police, so who's gonna arrest me? Me. Hello, Mr. Officer, I'd like to report a stolen car, please. Looking inside the car, I'd finally retrieved it. My badge. I now had the authority of a police badge. Surely Titus will give in to this. He didn't. He really didn't. Does this badge mean nothing to you? Although this time I did get a different outcome. Watson himself was able to step up and establish some authority instead. Yay, progress. They must have just put this in for failures like myself. With authority established, Titus spilled the beans.
Glacia, I'm on you.
Wait, that's how you say a name? Basically, the hangman was one of 3 security guards for the boatwoman. He'd been hired as protection, but he was really just an army-level mercenary who was told to rough up the locals. Apparently, he'd done something very inappropriate to the smoker girl we met at the beginning, so they hung him up. I won't go into too many details, but let's just say he's one of the most prolific rappers of our time. I hope they don't find out what I said to her earlier. Now, it was Glacia's turn to tell her side of the story, and we found out that Titus was just a big fat liar. The mercenary's name was Lely, and they were both consenting adults. Big man Titus was just jealous. Maybe love killed him after all. But then I spoke to Titus again and he gave us a tape to prove his point. It did sound pretty bad, but then Smoker Girl said it was just some locker room talk and there's nothing to worry about. Who the hell's telling the truth here? What's going on? Help me out! I've got amnesia! How am I supposed to solve this if no one wants to help? After being a very confused man for a while, Titus reveals that she's a fugitive and is running away from some very, very bad men. They were trying to protect her because if she's on the police records, she's as good as dead. Does she have a certain list, perchance? When I confront her about it, she finally gives us the full story of what happened that fateful night.
I heard the window behind me shatter, and I turned to look. His eyes were looking through me, and his mouth was open. I knew he was dead. I waited for the second shot to come. For me. I thought there would be one. Wait! He got shot? You're telling me I missed a big bullet hole in his head? Wow, my adventure did a number on me. Watson, why didn't you notice the bullet? You haven't drank. Yeah, that was a pretty glaring mistake. With the help of the missing Hardy, Ruby, they were able to fake the hanging and trick us into thinking that there was no bullet in his head. I'll be honest with you right now. I never arrested this woman. I didn't know you could. I would definitely have arrested this woman. She lied to the law. The law puts a beat down on anybody who lies. I mean, I would have arrested Titus too, but you know. We'll get to that later. So now with Ruby missing, she was my next big suspect. I spoke to Titus and he was pretty forthcoming this time. Keep talking like this and you won't be getting arrested, big fella. Apparently Ruby was their organizer and she recently ran away. She's probably not too far and is around the fishing village somewhere. Because I'm not a fool and I'm a bit of an expert detective, I found her straight away. It was pretty easy. I definitely didn't go running all over the map and... No clock, stop giving me away. Okay, yes, the whole search for Ruby was a nightmare. At some point I was at my wit's end, so what happens to her next makes a little bit more sense. Since she's somewhere near the coast, I went around asking everybody, but nobody admitted to seeing Ruby. Ironically enough, this blind woman did see her, but she wouldn't tell me anything. I honestly hated everybody. Nobody wanted to help me. I'm sick and tired of everybody in this town. I wish I had my gun, I'd show them. Once I managed to get the blind woman to talk, she told me that Ruby went north, and good old Watson mentioned that it's only a peninsula, so it should be pretty easy. It was still not easy. So I went all around the coast and found nothing. I went all around the boardwalk and still found nothing. People would occasionally mention the field electrical building and I would go to this tower in the north, which clearly wasn't right.
Once I eventually found that building, I tried to do a shivers check on it, and obviously failed. Eventually, after failing enough times, the wind told me to go speak to some kids. I did try to speak to those kids a while ago, but I never had an option to ask about Ruby. You're telling me these could have told me something? So the kids mentioned that they've been hearing radio noises in their head. Now, obviously, this only happened in a certain location. Did I ask where they heard the noise? No, I didn't. Detective 101, it doesn't exist in this, apparently. Instead, I go to talk to the radio channel those kids have been hearing and learn absolutely nothing. Then we finally realise, oh, we should have asked the kids where they heard the noise. It's an absolute mess. I thought my character was supposed to be logical. The kids told me that they heard the noise around the field building, and this time I actually went to the correct building. The only problem was, I needed to find a way to get into it. I was given two options. I could climb this rusty ladder which could break at any moment, or just teleport up there. I think you all know what I picked.
Zoot, zap, pow, crinkle, bam. You find yourself on the roof.
Holy shit, I've just teleported to the roof.
You know, for the record, you didn't teleport there. You just climbed the ladder with your eyes closed.
Oh wow, I just climbed an old rusty ladder. That's pretty difficult for a man over 40. Now that I was inside the building, I just explored everywhere and nothing seemed out of place. We eventually worked our way down to a cave-like area, and walking through the cave-like area we found...
Suddenly, your entire body is paralyzed.
I got caught in a trap set by Ruby. She was blasting me and Watson with radio waves, and we needed to pass a skill check to break free. Rather than put up with this bullshit for much longer, I chose to break free straight away.
You did it.
That's right, I succeeded. But she then decided to just point a gun at herself. Girl, do you know how long I've been running around this area just for you? Go on, do it. I don't care anymore. Yeah, and like that, she was useless. She just died. The whole adventure was a mess. If I do look on the bright side, Mr. Clare was actually good on his word, and he'd found me my gun. He truly is the only man in this district that I can trust. In return, they just wanted to build a youth centre in the area, which is great. He's a real saint of the area.
Harry, you smooth-talking son of a bitch.
Thank you, Mr. Clare. Heading back to the plaza, I happened to walk upon a dispute, and well, it looks like the game glitched again. I need to reload the save and do pretty much everything again. Yay!
Zoot, zap, something. You did it.
This time when I made it back, it finally worked and everything went... not that well. The mercenaries' friends were back for revenge, and since the Hardy Boys admitted to hanging them, they were on the top of their list. They were wearing the same armour that I tried to steal off the mercenary at the beginning of the game. Apparently it's actually impervious to bullets, which could have been really useful at this moment in time, but... that's only if they shot me in the legs. So I tried to go into the middle and break it up, but none of them would listen to me.
Get lost.
I'm sick of this town. I've got some kid hurling abuse at me every 5 minutes. Everybody's lying to me. Some woman used radio waves to nearly fry my brain. Can't you people be normal? So the talks broke down, and it fell into a good old-fashioned Western shootout. Well, it wasn't very good for me.
Rings and you stone.
Instantly, I failed the skill check and got shot in the body. My goat Watson didn't let that slide and took revenge by shooting him in the head, right between the slit in his armour. The two other mercenaries seemed kinda dumb. They didn't have helmets on, so you could just shoot the head. That thought came a little bit too late since the big guy already had his gun pointed at me. Well, this is a joke, isn't it? Putting a man down when he's already down. I've got no chance of passing this. Well, fellas, I'm dead. So I thought I died, but no. Only 2 days had passed, and I'm very much still alive. Watson had killed all of them. What a guy. Although my suspect list was rather short. The smoker girl ran away, and Titus and all the other suspects were pretty much dead. That was my bad, I can't lie. Now with pretty much zero leads, all I could do was check her room for more clues. Thankfully, she'd left me a lovely clue, which can guide me right to the killer. I just needed to go to this island. Fortunately, there was a little boat in the fishing village, which I could just use to travel all the way there, but, guys, they're not gonna make me watch this whole thing, right? What the hell is this? Guys, it won't let me skip it! No! Make it stop! Now that I'd arrived on the island, I went into a building, and it seemed like an abandoned military base. Even though I'd woken up a couple of hours ago, Watson weirdly wants me to go back to bed, so... I couldn't really complain. Everybody likes sleep. In my dream, I found out that my bird actually left me, and that's why I'm depressed and got amnesia drunk. Or she left because I was depressed and got drunk all the time. Who knows? It's a bit of a chicken and the egg. Harry is a bit of a mess. After sleeping, I go outside, and there he is. Just sitting there. Yep, that's the killer. We found them. So you're telling me the guy I've been searching for this entire time was just some fella on an island? None of the other suspects mattered. It's just this guy. Yep, in the end, it's just some communist revolutionary who's been hiding on this island for decades. He'd been watching the entire time and killed Lely because he was jealous he couldn't get any bitches on this island. It seems loneliness was the real killer. Wow, this game's made me so philosophical. Now that I'd found the killer, I needed to go back to the mainland to get a bigger boat. I don't know why, I'm pretty sure that boat could have fit 3, but never mind. Once I got back, I was surrounded by a new group of people who turned out to be my task force. Yes, all this time, I had my own task force who did absolutely nothing to help. Apparently, I sent them all away at the start of my drunken adventure, so none of them helped me. They just sat there watching me to see if I was fit enough to return and lead them again. To be fair, I did catch the killer, but... Guys, I don't know how this has happened, but my guys ended up being an advanced racist fascist man. I have a slight feeling that I don't think they're going to want me back. Surprisingly, they did want me back, and that's the end of Disco Elysium. I can't lie, I found it pretty anticlimactic. Even Scooby-Doo knew to reveal somebody you'd introduced to the story, but... No, the ending just had to be some random communist on an island. Then again, it wasn't my ending because I restarted and... Take this, you little gimp! I'm the only scouser in town. Yeah, that was very cathartic. This ended up being more of a journey rather than destination kind of game. In the end, the better mystery ended up being, why did Zorm fire all the original creators for this game? Well, that, folks, is a story for right now. A new owner bought the company and just fired all the original creators. The creators claim that the new owner bought the company using fraudulent money. Apparently, he used this interesting tactic of getting the company to buy the company with these sketches that cost 4.3 million euros. Zorm's new owner claims that he bought the company fair and square. They were just fired because of misconduct in the company. But who knows who's telling the truth? There's no documentation, no real information to back anything up. Was the game stolen? Who's gonna make Disco Elysium 2? Will there even be another Disco Elysium? Now this is what I call a mystery. Harry, get your kecks on, we've got another investigation to solve.